Hi, my name is Lynn and this is the DarbinNotes channel, and it's time for a little shop update. So I guess there's a couple of things going on with the shop, mainly in this corner over here. And so what I've been working on lately is, of course, the workbench, which I put a video up on Friday, and also this wall, which was already up when I did that video. Now I've been thinking about doing something with this area of the shop for some time now. Because I just felt like I wasn't quite sure what to do with it. It felt like a weird area and I wanted to highlight it a little bit and add a nice background. So first I was thinking brick and to whitewash brick. But then I figured, maybe not the best idea, so why not go for wood instead? But I didn't want it to be too dark, even though I love the look of wood. I really wanted something brighter. So I thought, why not whitewash wood? So I went shopping and got a few boards and put them up. So since I'm putting this on the wall, I don't need any fancy wood, so I'm looking at some cheap pine here, and I'm just calculating how much I'm going to need for the wall. So I'm in the pine section. This is the cheap pine, and this is the even cheaper pine. This stuff has some of this blue marbling here, which is from a beetle, I believe, but the wood is fine, and I actually kind of like the look, so I'm going to go with a cheaper pine for this project. I'm going to need quite a bit of wood, really. So I have an empty wall here, and I want to make it a little bit more interesting as well as practical. So I'm going to put wood all over it. I have picked up a whole bunch of 1x8 pine, and I'm going to nail it up into the studs, kind of stack it in different places. So let's get going on that. So I'm marking out my studs, so I know where on the wall I can screw into here. And then it's just a matter of marking on the boards where to screw everything in. And that's where a framing square comes really in handy, because it marks 16 inches, so you can just mark it. Once you get your first measure, you can just go from there. And it becomes so much easier to put the screws in ahead of time, and then just it's all ready and you can put it on the wall and screw it in right away. So that works really nicely. And here I'm trying to stagger everything a little bit so it's not the same seam. As I'm alternating the two. And of course Darwin is with me in the shop. And then it's basically just repeating these steps a whole bunch of times to build the wall up. For the outlet here, I'm just cutting out an area with a coping saw to fit. First I was thinking about cutting a board in half or whatever, but then I figured it's just easier to cut out a little piece with a coping saw, and that worked out really nicely. And then just adding in these little sections, which I saved and then went out to cut after I had all my measurements, and then just plugging them all in. And someone had to bang in a little bit to get them to fit. And then the very last piece. And then the left thing to do was to spackle in the holes, just to get everything a little smoother and not see all the screw holes as much. So now the wood is up on the wall. I have spackled in the holes, and I'm going to put on this whitewashing product, which is like a whitewash pickling wood stain. So I'm going to put that everywhere and brighten this up a little bit. So to whitewash the wall, I used a water-based wood stain pickling product, and various brands make this, and this is very easy to put on. You just brush it on or rub it on. I mean, the instruction says that you should be careful, you should put it on and then wipe off any excess right away, but I found that it really soaks up right away, especially wood like this, so I didn't even have to do that. I just kind of put it on there and that's it. I haven't put any other coat on, and I've just done one coat right now. I like it, so I think I'm just going to leave it this way. This is one way to do whitewashing. Of course, traditionally you did whitewashing with lye when you for protection, But also, if you want to achieve a similar effect, but you don't want to go and pick something like this up, you can always dilute water-based paint. So if you have white paint or even some other color, you can just add water to it and kind of, you know, brush it on and kind of play with it until you get an effect that you like. So that's always an option too if you want to do whitewashing. Okay, moving on here. So I have the workbench mainly done, but I wanted to make everything a little bit more practical, so I'm gonna put doors over here. That's my shop vac, and I have the air compressor behind there, and I've been working on drawers for this section here. Let me take one out here. Okay, so for these drawers here, I actually decided to dovetail the fronts. And I did this not because I wanted to be fancy. I mean, a lot of people, dovetails seem to be really in right now. A lot of people do dovetails. And they're beautiful, I agree. But the reason why I'm using them here is because they're very strong. I didn't even bother doing dovetails, you know, at the back. I just did them right here. And the reason why they are so strong is because of the way a dovetail is constructed. So the tail goes here, which means that you can't, it's stuck in there basically. From this side, if you were to pull on this side, it's not nearly as strong. But from this direction, it's very strong. So that's why I decided to do dovetails here, because there's actually, especially for drawers like that, like this, like if in a work environment and that are going to be heavy and I'm going to keep heavy things in them, I'm going to pull them in and out a lot. So for something like that, that's really a good place to work a little extra on the joinery. So I did these dovetails by hand, and these are carpenter's dovetails, which means that they are equal in size in between. I mean, on many pieces of furniture that they have these beautiful dovetails that very small, you know, pins and then more of a wide spacing in between, and it looks really, really nice, but they're not quite as strong. And since I'm going for strength here, that's why I decided to just do them pretty big and evenly spaced. So this is a nice mahogany front for the front drawers here, and I just paired it with pine for the back here because I wanted something nice to show, and also I like the contrast. And pine is cheap and soft and easy to work with as well. Now I think that I probably will actually paint the whole base here white, and then probably oil the top, and then of course I want to paint these drawers. I'll keep them, you know, the mahogany. Maybe I'll oil them or wax them a little bit to just kind of bring out, you know, pop that grain a little bit.
To make dovetails isn't difficult, it just requires a bit of patience. You basically cut out tails on one board and then match the tails up on the other board to mark out the place for the pins. Then you remove the wood of the pins in order to fit the tails like a puzzle. It's really quite relaxing and fun to do by hand. And it's also kind of fun to play with different woods, because pine, for example, is very different to work with from mahogany. Making dovetails is all about precision and getting a tight fit. So you don't want to cut away too much at once. You want to be careful and cut away a little at a time, approaching your lines. That's when the sharp chisel is really important. Of course, I don't care if it doesn't line up just perfectly, because I'm mostly concerned about strength, so I want a tight fit, but if there's a tiny bit of gap, I really don't care about that. And then it's time to glue everything up when it's all ready.
I also got some pulls here, some hardware for the drawers that I'm going to put on. These are very simple. I believe they're probably brushed nickel, very utilitarian. So I'm going to put these on. And I think that will look quite nice and be, you know, just easier to move the drawers in and out, be quite practical. And in terms of the construction here, I actually did the same kind of drawer sliders as I did on the nightstand, where I just have rails, like wood, nailed in here, and that's what the drawers are going to slide on. And I'm also going to wax the slides and the back here. I just have hardboard for the bottom here, so yeah, I'm just going to put some wax on and everything's going to slide in easier. For right now here, I have some drawers, you know, miniature boxes that I've been kind of working on. You might have seen these on Instagram, and I think I mentioned them in the previous shop updates too. These little boxes that I've also been doing by hand, and these are so relaxing to do. You know, keep one going and kind of work on them every once in a while. This is with box joints, and I made one with dovetails. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this one has dovetails, a really small little dovetails. And I just think they are quite nice, perfect to put screws in and things like that. What's actually really cool about these boxes is that I made all 4 of them from this sized piece of wood. This is clear fir, and I ripped it in half and resawed it on the bandsaw. And this piece alone made 4 boxes, and then I have a thin plywood as bottoms. But it just shows that you don't need a whole lot of wood to play with woodworking and make something. So I'm gonna make another 4 out of these. And just kind of take my time with it, and you know, probably maybe do some more dovetails, but the finger joints are fun too and pretty quick to make. And I think I'm just gonna make the same size, so I can just have more screws and nails and things like that in them. Maybe put them at the top shelf, which is a little bit smaller or something like that, because I just love that. When you're working on something, you can take this whole little, the whole little box of whatever size you're working with. So that way you don't have to open up a whole big case or anything like that. And if anyone's wondering, these are star bit screws, and some are, I think some of them, are square bits too. Yeah, so star bits and square bits. I know some people are concerned about the screws and what shape you're using. I found these to be pretty easy to use. I like these. And so, also for my next project, I actually got some reclaimed lumber. Oops, and I'm gonna be building something with that. Now I got some different barn wood and some reclaimed fir and things like that, and I want to do a project where I kind of show off that rustic nature a little bit. I haven't actually done too many projects, or no projects really, that I have left kind of rustic. So it's going to be a piece of furniture, and it's going to kind of highlight the rustic nature of the wood, which I'm kind of looking forward to. And I think I'm going to be playing with the design a little bit on this one too, and have a couple of different colored woods. And oh, I love this one. This one has the part of the red barn paint kind of still on it, as well as the nail holes and everything, and it's more rustic on the other side. So yeah, so that's gonna hopefully be Friday's project. And so yeah, still kind of working on getting everything organized here, still thinking about what to do with this wall thing here. Maybe play with French cleats. I'm thinking about that, maybe. And otherwise I'm just kind of looking forward to having everything straightened out here, so I can start using my new drill press. And that's going to make life easier at times, I believe. Otherwise, don't forget to check the description for more information and links. Also, follow me on Instagram if you're on Instagram. I've been putting quite a lot of effort into Instagram lately, and I'm really enjoying it. It's such a fun system. So go and check me out there. Links in the description as well about that. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out my main channel, DarbinOrver, if this is your first time here. There I put up project videos every Friday. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in a couple of days. Bye.